Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's your boy G Invasion.
This is Power Trick.
And today we are going to be covering the anticipated movie that came out, well, that's actually active right now for this weekend, which is Black Adam. I seen the movie pretty much about 9 hours ago. And
I've seen this movie last night, and don't worry, ladies and gentlemen, this is a spoiler-free review.
Non-spoiler review. We're just going to be covering little bits and pieces on, story, plot, character development, stuff like that in the most vague and generic way possible. But I'm hype about this movie. I will be seeing it again, most likely, before Black Panther 2. But
I guess I'll go first on this miniature review. Now,
yes.
I will say this. First of all, Dwayne Johnson, Rock, just by watching this movie, I can tell he had so much fun during this movie. I would say he had the same amount of fun for being Black Adam as Jim Carrey as Dr. Eggman in a Sonic. I could tell, you could tell when an actor is having fun with their roles, and The Rock was having so much fun in this role.
Yes.
So that makes this one part entertaining as this aspect. This movie, to me, it felt like, some people say it felt like a fish out of water movie because we see this certain hero, then see people died off, but Black Adam, he don't give a damn who you are in this movie, especially when he's fighting bad guys. He's like,
oh yeah, everything from the trailer, guys.
He's like, you just shot me. He's like, next one. He just whoops
guys.
Everything, and I loved it.
Everything that he's talking about is from the trailer. Like that. It was just too much fun. For such a serious character from comic book lore, so let's be clear so that the listeners at home understand. Black Adam is a anti-hero.
Yep.
He's not a hero. He is no longer a villain. That was the golden age of comics. He is a anti-hero. The Rock played this character well. Everything you've seen from the trailer that either made you go WTF or made you raise the people's eyebrow was definitely in this movie. Now, the movie was 2 hours and 4 minutes, give or take credits and everything else.
But I felt the movie could have been a bit longer, but that's just me.
Yeah.
And thankfully, I'll just say this. Thankfully, they used the JSA as the people to go against it because they say yeah, we kill people, but but we have a certain code. I said thankfully they didn't put to say that he's gonna be in the second Shazam movie. I was like, we'll probably wait till the third one. We'll probably wait for the near future. Maybe then, but Black Adam as a movie itself, it has some kind of flaws. I wish they put in some of the stuff together, but overall, this movie, I'll flat out say it basically gave the DC universe a second chance.
Second one, yeah.
This movie gave it a new life.
Yeah.
And the crazy part, this is The Rock's first superhero role, I believe.
If you don't count the fantastical stuff he did in the Fast and the Furious franchise, then yeah.
Yeah, so basically, this is his first superhero. Even though he's not a superhero, he's an anti-hero.
No, he was in Scorpion King. Technically, but even though he was a villain, he in that or whatever else, technically, you can say that he. I don't know if we'll count that. I don't know, but
But yeah, But like I said, The Rock did his thing. I'm like, there are other characters in that play like Dr. Fate, Hawkman, and
Alexa, stop. Stop.
Sorry about that, ladies and gentlemen. But for other characters like Dr. Fate and other they did their thing. But this is about what Black Adam is doing, and thankfully, there won't be no kill count from Jay-Z from dead meat because there's too many bodies that happened. But overall, I would say I would give this movie between 8.5 or out of 10 or 9 out of 10. I want to see GNN Invasion's reaction, because after his reaction, I'm gonna call out a few certain people, but I'm gonna let him take the floor.
Oh man, so because I love comics, and it's hard to relate to DC, but as far as this movie is concerned, I'm 1,000,000% satisfied. Is it a 10 out of 10? No. But here's what I will say. It does good in showing the culture around where the Black Adam, storyline is. You get culture, you get backstory. Is it canonical? No, but they did a good job on how they did it, and it's not too far away from being canonical. So for that, I'm satisfied. I won't complain about that. The actors and actresses that are involved in this movie, who are prolific and are newcomers, did a good job for it. But I will say this though. For anybody who is new to comics, which I'm sure there's very few, this movie is about Black Adam. So, hearing about reviews and everything else, which Power Trick is going to go into, and I am going to roast some in a very generic way, but it's going to be some strong roasting, possibly even strong wording. But this movie did what it was supposed to do, and it gave DC a second win. Now, I put this in the top 3 of DC EU movies, and there actually is a strong top 5, but it's definitely in the top 3, and there are only 2 that I feel compete with it in the role that it does. It gives you everything from action, suspense, comedy, hell, even a little thriller. Like, you get all of that. And for a anti-hero, superhero movie or whatever else you want to call it, everything played well. Pierce Brosnan is another mainstream actor that was in it. Did a very good role in who he played, and I mean it's in the casting, so we know he's Dr. Fate. And I'm not gonna call out too many actors that's in it, but those are two of some of my favorite actors, and they had some very good symmetry within this movie. But for an origin movie for the DCEU, and on the scale on which it went, this movie is amazing. So, even it might sound a little biased, but the music fit, everything fit. So for me, I give it anywhere between a 9.0 to a 9.3. Even though, so I agree with Power Trick where he says that the movie was a little too short. But the thing about it is there's certain areas where it's like if it goes a little bit too much longer, could have actually killed or drawn out the movie. There's not very many drawn out parts. Literally, there's a beginning, an end, a cause and effect, what happened and what transpires. Everything has a completion. It's just that in some ways it might feel that it's not enough explained, and in some areas, well, let's just be totally honest. The same way how it looks like fights ended short in the trailer, that was in the movie. So, but yeah, guys, there's nothing I can say that was wrong with this movie in a lot of regards. Just maybe a little bit more fleshing out, but not by much. So that's why I'm giving it a 9, like a 9.0 to a 9.3 or a 9.1 to a 9.3. Yeah. And as far as when I said top 3, even though some people might say I'm missing out on some movies, for an origin story and a solo hero, villain, whatever movie, yes, I'm putting it like that. Black Adam, Man of Steel, and Wonder Woman. Those Wonder Woman, the first movie.
The first one, not the other one.
Those 3 movies are the top for me for DCEU so far. Honorable mention will be Shazam and Suicide Squad 2. So, but yeah. And I actually put Black Adam number 1. I'll go ahead and set it.
Put Black Adam. I'll put him in my top. I'll put him in my top 5.
Okay, yeah, but
I'll just put him in my top 5. I gotta see who is number 1, but it's in my.
It's opinion based. So regardless of who you put it as, the fact that he's even in the top 5, just depending on what other ones that you have there, that still speaks volumes. But but for me personally, I am going based off of it being an origin story. What does it cover all the bases, and the canonically when it comes down to the storyline?
Nah.
That it fits everything for me. Because we for the listeners, there was one that we actually did have a debate with. You cannot compare Suicide Squad, which is a group movie, to this movie. It's absolutely not possible, because you're talking about a group of villains or anti-heroes or vigilantes or the such, to where you get to pick and choose who you like and team synergy in how they do the grouping, versus literally somebody that's in a origin story. Like, a lot of people don't know Black Adam, but you can pick and choose between the Suicide Squad, depending who's in that Suicide Squad, who you like. And you might already know the origin before it actually came out. And that's for people that might not necessarily be comic book fans, that might just know them from video games or whatever else. You taking the people that know comic books, that's a different story.
Yeah, but the only thing is, like, not a lot of people know Peace Walker. That's the only character that a lot of people.
What are you talking about? Suicide Squad 1, a lot of people didn't know half of the people in that cast either.
Even I didn't know who. I was like, who the heck is this?
Yeah, but that goes back to the talk of mainstream versus sub or whatever else. But you got to remember, the Suicide Squad has always been meant to be a mixture. The same people that was in Suicide Squad 1 are not in Suicide Squad 2. I mean, so that makes it even harder right there. There's no consistency within that. The only thing that's consistent, and who is the best person in that, is Amanda Waller. Shout outs to you, baby girl. Love the woman who plays Amanda Waller.
She did good. I like.
Love it. So, but you said that you wanted to discuss something and about it, and I'm guessing it's pertaining to the reviews. Let me look at it, and I was already irritated, but I'd rather give my praises to Black Adam versus talk about this. So I'm going to let you roast them. Okay. I'll just be doing some ad-libs in the background.
All right, let me just say, like I said, I'm going to be roasting some reviews. First off, there are some views from Rotten Tomatoes
and
IGN.
There we go.
IGN, first off, stick to gaming, and Rotten Tomatoes. I'm like, I had a headache from this, and people were saying, "Oh, Rotten Tomatoes give it a 44%," and yet on the audience viewership, it's over 89%, which is.
Wait. Let's go by the type of reviews too. 208 reviews for the 44%. On Rotten Tomatoes versus 2,500 plus, which
is downright crazy. I'm like, 200 versus 2,000 people say 89%, and I call the hypocrisy on that. I'm calling them out, including IGN. IGN gave Black Adam a 5 out of 10, and they gave
both Suicide Squads
and both Suicide Squad 9 out of 10. I'm just like, that makes no sense. That's number one. Number two. Here's the bigger hypocrisy. As GNA Invasion knows, I love me some Star Wars.
Yeah.
Rotten Tomatoes, you gave The Last Jedi, which is my opinion the worst Star Wars movie ever, over 80%. Yeah. I think I would say 80 or 90%.
Yeah.
And IGN gives The Last Jedi a 9 out of 10.
But from the viewers. For Rotten Tomatoes.
For viewers, Rotten
That
Tomatoes.
was in the 30s or 40s.
And I said, yes.
So it makes me wonder if they were paid to simp. Because,
most likely.
Because going back to the Black Adam on Rotten Tomatoes, you can tell none of those people read comic books.
Nope.
There's absolutely no, especially a Black Adam comic book, because there's absolutely no way that some of these people and what they were saying made any sense if they understand comic book lore. If they understood the comic book lore. Because some of them sound like they only follow fantasy novels and focus too much on story. Like, no, you can't do that with this. There's absolutely no way possible. But you know what? I'm shutting up. Go ahead.
And here's another thing that makes matters worse. I'm like, you'll probably have a different opinion of it. They gave Thor: Love and Thunder an 8, and they gave Black Adam. I didn't give it a 5. I said when I first saw that.
Wait. They gave Thor: Love and Thunder
an 8 out of 10,
and that is considered the worst movie out of all of them.
I had said first off, switch the damn scores. Then I'll say, okay, now you're accurate. Switch the scores of Black Adam and Thor: Love and Thunder. Then I'll say, okay, now you're making sense.
Yeah, and just a side note, guys. Just a side note. They have ruined the reputation and the appearance of Thor in Thor: Love and Thunder. I want y'all to be. I want y'all to understand that Thor was supposed to be like Thor 2. That is Thor. He's supposed to be in very dark settings, but he is supposed to be strong. Everything that you know of Thor, that's how Thor is supposed to be. Now, no, I'm not saying Jane Invasion likes it dark or he likes his action or whatever else. Yes, but Thor is not supposed to be Guardians of the Galaxy, buddy cop, lighthearted. No. They ruined what Thor was supposed to be. Chris Hemsworth even said that an 11-year-old or a 4-year-old could have did better in writing a script. So, and I unfortunately I can't cite the sources. I will find it if y'all need it. Y'all let me know in the comments. But it is apparent that they said Thor actually said that. So if that is the case, the best part of Thor: Love and Thunder was Gorg the God Butcher.
Pretty much.
So it's pandering. At the end of the day, it's pandering. You don't want to give some. You either don't like The Rock or you don't like DC, because that movie was good in all aspects. Thor: Love and Thunder, though, you have 4 movies of him to see the transition from God to whatever, and a bunch of other movies to see the transitions. Now, for the most part, in all the collaboration, like the Avengers movies, he did a good thing. You know, he stayed solid. 3, Ragnarok and Love and Thunder, totally different Thor.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, this is about Black Adam, though. So,
but yeah, so it's like, but I continue the roasting, the review roasting. They also gave She-Hulk a better score than Black Adam. That's when I
wait, what?
Yeah, you didn't. Yeah, Rotten Tomatoes gave it over 80. I wanted to throw my cell phone at my freaking TV.
I'm not a political person, but at least that lets me know exactly what type of place Rotten Tomatoes is.
I'm like, they gave it a better score for it, and that just covers my face through the heavens, and that's how sad it is turning into. First off, like I said, you say that The Last Jedi is the best movie ever. No, it is not. That Episode 9 was better than Episode 8, and that was still bad in my perspective. And now you're saying that She-Hulk is better than Black Adam. Well, Black Adam is newer than She-Hulk's already ended. You're saying that Black Adam is not better than She-Hulk, rating score wise?
And guys, let's just be totally honest, right? She-Hulk, from the director's standpoint, said that it was a troll series, and you gave it a higher score than Black Adam.
That is just unacceptable right there. And from what I understand, like the Black Adam, its box office is doing okay so far. I'm like, they say it's passed, I believe, $60 million on opening weekend, I believe. Like, it's is doing okay. I'm hoping like after its release and everything else, it surpasses. I'm hoping it surpasses over at least $400 million. That's what I'm hoping for. It should be worth over. It should be worth over $500 million. But I'm just hoping at least it passes $400 million, because a lot of the times we don't want to listen. A lot of times we don't want to listen to the critics. We just want to watch the movie, and 90%, and a lot of the times we end up saying this is a better movie than critics. You guys don't even know what you're talking about right now, and this is one of the examples.
What I want before Black Panther 2 comes out, I need this movie to be better than Suicide Squad 2. I need it to gross more than Suicide Squad 2.
Well, it's gonna happen after what the producer of Suicide Squad said. It most likely will happen.
I mean, yeah, but I don't want it to go. I want it to just go based off of the merit of what it is, not just because of what the director said. I like thing about it is like, yeah. Well, you already know me. I don't, but I guess the fans don't if they haven't realized yet. I like it. I like it when you go based off the merit of the actors, the actresses, and the storyline that's put in it. Mm-hmm. Suicide Squad is a never-ending. It can happen as many times as they want to. They can always throw fresh meat on the Barbie and just make a movie with Suicide Squad. That's just how that is. And Amanda Waller is the puppeteer. So those can be never-ending Saw movies technically with shoestring budgets. But Black Adam, in my opinion, is a masterpiece. Let's see where the numbers go between something that can be regurgitated all the time versus something that actually has some substance. Everybody loves Suicide Squad 2. I love Suicide Squad 2. They had a great cast. The story was much more solid, and the stakes were actually good. Black Adam, good story in itself. Again, non-spoiler, guys. So I want to see them hit the numbers before Black Panther, because when Black Panther comes out, it's going to be all about Black Panther.
Yeah.
I mean, I've been trying my best to stay away from trailers, and unfortunately, I seen who's the next Black Panther. I mean, it just made sense with the way they were going, but that's a topic for another time, because guys, there's one thing I want to talk about, which it is going to be somewhat of a controversial topic. But let's just say it's going to be DC versus Marvel, as far as DCEU versus the MCU, when it comes down to characters. But anything else, man?
I guess. Well, I was like, I'm thinking that's it. But I had something from the top of my head, but I lost it. Don't you hate it when that crap happens?
Yeah, and then all of a sudden you remember it when it's like in your car or something like that.
Oh wait, now I remember. I said the only thing I'm gonna say, the only spoiler I'm gonna say is stay during the credits.
Yes.
That's it.
Yes. There not the very end credits. Not the very end. Just you'll know when to leave.
Yes. I'm like, that's the only spoiler I'm gonna say. I'll say you gotta stay during the credits, and when that scene is over, go home.
Yes.
That's it. That's the only thing I'm gonna say.
Yeah. So guys, be looking out. We're going to do probably a spoiler review a little bit later on. We're going to give people roughly about a week to possibly 2 weeks to go ahead and see this movie. It is well worth it. Well worth it.
And my last comment, I kind of felt bad for using the $5 on Black Adam.
I didn't.
I said I did. I kind of felt bad for the T-Mobile Tuesday thing. I felt bad for using the $5. I was like, dang, I should have paid full price.
Nah. Because you know why? I got other friends that haven't seen it, and I'll most likely be seeing it again. So I am supporting Warner Brothers and DC for this movie. That's how good it is. Now, just a little disclaimer. I have seen Man of Steel twice. I've seen Wonder Woman twice. I own Shazam, but I did go see it in the movie first. Actually, I own almost every one of the DC movies that came out in movie theater, minus like 2. And even though I need to get it for collectors, I kind of refuse to buy Wonder Woman W14, the second one. But I do have it on streaming platform. But for collector purposes, and because I am a fan of all things comic geek, nerd, and everything else, I am going to eventually get it. It's just I cringe, like I have a twitch in my eye every time when I see it. But anyways, that's enough of my rambling. Guys, we appreciate you all the time. Definitely all leave a comment down below. Let us know if you've seen it, if you didn't see it. Let us know what you liked about it in the most non-spoilers way possible. When we do the spoiler ones, feel free to rant as much as you want. All right, guys? Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Definitely hit that bell for notifications, so you can always see everything geeky and nerdy about Critical Drop. And but again, guys, like. We need that algorithm to be able to put us on the forefront, so that this way you're always able to see us. But this is GN Invasion signing off.
This is Power Trick. See y'all in the future.
Peace, guys.